So Jerry Jones just recently was at the owners only meeting. And at the owners only meeting, it was basically cited that Jerry Jones had this notebook, taking notes and stuff like that. And basically, he had a bunch of scribbles in the notebook. Not entirely sure if those scribbles were literally just scribbles and he was just scribbling all over the paper, just doodling or something like that. But, or if those scribbles were just him scribbling certain notes that he had in the notebook and just scribbling them out and just saying, I'm going to take this out, like process of elimination. Either way, he also headlined when they asked him, and he said, I believe there are a lot of quarterbacks. There are a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL who haven't won a Super Bowl that can win a Super Bowl. And he said that Dak Prescott, he believes, is one of those who can. And for me personally, my take on this, at the time, like when we first lost to Green Bay, like after that Green Bay playoff game, I couldn't fathom the fact that, like here we were, number 2 seed in the NFC. We got our quarterback who is balling, 36 touchdowns, led the league, over 4,500 yards, only 9 interceptions. That was the talk during the off season about Dak Prescott was his interception problems, and they act like he's Brett Favre. I know he wears number 4, but dang, like, come on now, let's be real here. All right, you act like Dak this is what he's always been, an interception machine, which is not the case. Dak actually is among one of the top 10 or top 5 in the NFL as far as turnover rates. And I mean that as far as best, like the lowest turnover rates in the NFL. So we can just scratch that out as far as trying to act like he's an interception machine, turnover machine. We can just scratch that out. So the way I see Jerry, and he has the same vision that I have, a vision that I've had for a very long time about Dak Prescott. Now I ain't gonna lie, for a minute there, I was on the verge of giving up. I was on the verge of giving up on Dak, but after I licked my wounds and all the pain kind of died away, eventually I came back to reality a little bit, and I eventually got back to reality, understanding that Dak is still our quarterback that can engineer and lead this team. And the fact of the matter is, Jerry's right. He is, like Dak Prescott is. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there outside of Patrick Mahomes, and Tom Brady retired, so can't include him. Outside of Patrick Mahomes and Matthew Stafford that one year, like there aren't any other quarterbacks you can find recently, over the past few years that have won it. So it's hard. You got to understand, it's hard to win a Super Bowl. And I had to come to that assessment because, I know Cowboy faithful, we're all just trying to find that quarterback that can lead us to a championship. But the fact of the matter is, I feel like it came so easy for us during the first 20th century, the late 20th century. It came so easy for us. We got so good, so dominant, so quick. And now we're going through the hard years of coming up short over and over and over again in the playoffs. And I mean, it is what it is. We can say what we want about Dak Prescott's postseason failures, but the fact of the matter is, Josh Allen has had postseason failures. Lamar Jackson has had postseason failures. I mean, really, the only quarterbacks that I can really think of right now the only very rare amount of quarterbacks in the NFL currently right now that know how to play big in the big games and know how to play their best come playoff time are Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Those are the only two quarterbacks I've been able to see that when playoff time rolls around, they've brung their best. And I guess if you want to put Brock Purdy in there too, then okay, I guess I can't really argue with you on that, but I don't really feel like Purdy has been the best playoff performer from what I've seen. Like, go look at his postseason stats. I don't look at him as that big of a great playoff performer like those other two quarterbacks that I mentioned with Mahomes and Burrow. The fact of the matter is, Dak is coming off of a playoff game where he did start off horrible in the first half. But the fact of the matter is, he finished with over 400 yards and 3 touchdown passes. He sort of cleaned up his crap from what he ensued in the first half. The biggest problem, unfortunately, that he could not leap was the fact that the defense was still not playing well and they couldn't stop a nosebleed. So you can do everything you possibly can as an offense to try to get things back in order and get things back on track. But if that defense can't get their stuff together and they're still allowing the opposing team to dog walk them down the field, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. The fact of the matter is, yeah, Dak Prescott can win us a Super Bowl the same way that Josh Allen can, the same way Lamar Jackson can. It's just the fact of the matter is, anybody can, but will it happen? Will they do it? And we just have to wait and see. So, to all my audience, to close out, I believe Dak Prescott can win us a Super Bowl. Will that be this year? I mean, the fact of the matter is, we're still going through a contract negotiation with him on whether or not we're going to, keep him a Dallas Cowboy. So if there's any year that it could happen, it definitely should happen now. So, Cowboy faithful or whoever you are that is here watching this video, this is Mr. Cowboys fan out.